Welcome, 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 everyone, and good afternoon to you again. Hi, I am Paul Atkinson. I'm delighted to be here. I'm going to need help with the chat. So, Vanessa, if you don't mind bringing things to my attention, I'd be greatly appreciated because I'm going to be paying attention to the slides. Where is this located? The gut guy, what is that? There's a question going on there so far. Where's this guy, the guy in the video? Okay. So what you saw was on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, obviously. It's called Global Real Estate Coaching, or just go to YouTube and put in my name, Paul R. Atkinson. And Manny is one of our students from the course, The 5 Steps to the Sale, how to influence and persuade and seduce your clients. So that gentleman was able to witness. And when I thought about what to show you today while we're waiting, that is the one that came on my mind. We're not here to sell you anything. That's the last thing I want to do. I'm not here to sell you anything at all. We are here to give you some tools that you could use to make your real estate business better. You're going to find out in the next 45 minutes that this is an amazing opportunity for you to learn 4 unique techniques. 4. So I want everyone to get a pen and paper and get ready to write, because this is not normal. This is something that I learned 29 years ago, and I've been practicing it for 29 years. So the Kung Fu Master is here, and he's going to give you some techniques. However, you'll learn it, but you're going to have to apply it. For those of you who can apply it, this is not for everyone, but it's for those who want to succeed. That's all I can tell you. And we don't push anything on anybody. So let's jump into this. This is a phenomenal day today. Today's a good day. So we watched a little bit, and if I'm moving along and there's something in the chat that you guys want me to pay attention to, then slow me down. Okay. Hi, will this be recorded? Okay, Benisa, are we recording? Yes, we are.
Yes, absolutely. We are recording every single session, and we send out emails 24 hours after the webinar to everyone who registered.
Yay! Now, this is copyright material, so if you are planning on taking this and using it in some other way, please be advised that our publicist, our publisher may not like that too much. So please be advised, this is copyright material. Okay, guys, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is it's not Growth Wednesday, but I actually used this presentation last week when I was speaking to a mastermind group. And I said, how funny that when I looked yesterday or day before, I said Sunday, oh, what am I speaking on with Agent Locator? It was, hey, how to convince a client. So I've just presented this. This is fresh material, and you're going to get it. So today we're going to talk about how to influence, persuade, and even seduce a client. In the next 60 minutes, you're going to discover how to find your best assets in you as a person that you could use to move clients forward. You're going to learn how to influence, persuade, and seduce your clients. You're going to ask yourself, and we're going to ask each other as top professionals in the business here, growing to be elites if you're not elite already, we're going to ask ourselves, why? Why would we want to influence, persuade? And even the invitation to you today, say, hey, come on out and learn how to convince. The word is convince the client. Imagine that. So we're going to talk about why you need to do that. And we're going to also take a look at currently what you're doing. Benisa, today we're not going to do a poll on the screen itself. What we're going to do is a poll in the chat. So I'm going to need some participation, and we're going to ask you a question, all of you. It's quite a bit of you here. And we're going to wait until at least almost 50% of you reply in the chat before I move forward. So there's going to be a moment of silence while you think about this. So I'm going to ask you a question because we're going to want to know what you're currently doing. And don't be afraid. For everybody that participates, I'm going to have a gift for you. So don't be afraid. You're going to get a gift, okay? And the gift is going to be wonderful. At the end, you're going to find out what the gift is. So stick around. and then we're going to jump into a fast track on the techniques that you're here to see, the four of them. I'm going to demonstrate them to you. I won't be doing a role play today because this is pretty deep. I think the video with Manny, one of our former students, kind of summed things up for you. And then we're going to bring it all together. And then, of course, we will tell you how to get that gift. So let's jump into it. This is exciting. For those of you who don't know who I am, look on your screen. That's the ugly guy over there. All right, I'm just kidding. I'm Paul R. Atkinson, and I am the author of The 5 Steps of the Sale. This book was released last year, April of 2022. You could find it on anywhere in the world. Thank you. You can click on, just go to YouTube, or you can go to Google search engine, and you should just put in the 5 steps of the sale, and you would see that. There's a barcode on your screen. You can just, if you have your device, you can just get that, and it gives you right into our website where you can have a lot of information on how to persuade and influence someone. So, do I have the authority to talk about this? That's the first thing that you should think about when you're considering to gather information on building your practice. Does the speaker have the authority? And what do I mean by that? Does the speaker know what the heck he's talking about? Is he, let's say, proven? Does he have a proven method in what he's telling me? Is it true? Okay. Well, take a look. That's me over there. That's that young buck. I was about 20-something, and that's Bob. Bob was my supervisor at the time. And if for those of you who know the military, this little ball that's on the left hand, my left hand, this little ball right here by the trophy, means that I was an electrician in the United States Navy. And then Bob and I, we had wreaths, gold wreaths. And these were wreaths symbolize that you are the top salespeople for the United States Navy. So I started recruiting for the United States Navy. Just tell you a short story on what you're about to see. I was recruited for the United States Navy back in 1993. And when I started to recruit, I was an electrician. I was a guy that's in the boiler room of the ships. And I loved it. I was there for 7 years in the belly of the ships, out to sea, fixing generators, lights, and I was an electrician. And then in 1992, President Clinton came into administration, and he decommissioned my ship, the USS Forrestal. When he decommissioned the ship, my supervisor, not this guy, another guy, decided to say that, hey, Paul, you know what? You should become a Navy salesperson. You are articulate. So he volunteered me for it. I was very upset. However, when I landed on the streets of Camden, New Jersey, and I had to recruit young people to join the Navy, I was suffering. I was dying. I couldn't do it. It was crazy. I couldn't do it. Lucky for me, I was making a salary with the Navy, obviously, so I was getting my money. But the Navy doesn't work like that. If you don't perform, they're going to either put you in jail or they're going to kick you out or something's going to happen. So I was forced emotionally to learn sales, and that's 1993. And because, let me just kind of show you something right now. I'm going to stop showing this. Because I was an electrician, and at that time, all I kind of knew was like flow charts. So what I knew was that this circle was something, and then from this circle, if you know about schematics, it leads into another component. And then from that component, it leads into like a resistor or something. I knew that for 7 years. So I said, wait a second. I'm not able to convince these darn kids to join the Navy. There must be a way for me to get them like a flow chart. So I said, all right. So I figured it out. And long story short, what you're about to see is my systematic approach to getting people to say yes, 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 yes. Where do I sign? When can you come and do an open house? When can we do the offer? When can you list? That is what you're about to see. So, does it work? Okay, this is the proof in the pudding. So, from my suffering came this. I'm the author of two books. It's the first book on the top there. Well, it's actually the second book. It's called The Five Steps to the Sale. But I wrote my first book in 2019, and it's called The Art and Science of the Real Estate Agent. Day one, close a deal. If you are to investigate this, you're going to find out that in this book, The Art and Science of Real Estate Agent, Day one, close a deal, you're going to discover that there's a lot of information there to inspire you, to motivate you, to do all kinds of stuff. But you're going to hear the story of how the very first day that I got my real estate license, I closed my first deal. Yes, my friends, I received my real estate license in November 2003. And on that day, my brother, Richard, who was a mortgage broker, gave me a $250,000 lead the same day I got my license. And then I called the lead and I used my technique at 7 o'clock that night. And I went ahead and I collected a check in the vacant house, wrote a deal, made the offer. Long story short, of course, I joined the board. I did all the legal stuff. I did all that, but I closed my first deal. So I've used what you're about to see to sell the US Navy. I've used it to sell computers. I've used it to sell cars. I've used it to sell life insurance. And now, of course, the United States, beautiful, and there in Canada, real estate market. Wherever you are in this world watching this, your real estate market is one of the top things in your economy that causes people to create a phenomenal business. So, being a realtor means that you must have two things. You have to have the right attitude, which is the mindset, and you have to have selling skills. And nobody tells you that. And that's the problem with our industry, because 80% of us fail. No one is giving us what we need. And that's a shame. I'm sorry. However, we're here to help. So, why would you need to convince the client? Let's look in the chat for a little bit right now because you're getting ready to participate. Why would you? Okay, so we've got smiley faces there. Bring them a bottle of wine. Big kiss, a gift. Hello, everyone. Okay, Jenny, absolutely. We will send you an email. Okay, just jumped into the copy of training. All right. Think about it and put in the chat right now. Why do you feel you need to influence? And I'm looking. I'm a slow reader. Why do you feel that you need to influence or persuade your clients? You are a realtor and you have a buyer and you have a seller. Tell me, why do you feel that you need to influence them? Someone give me something. To gain trust. Okay. All right. I got it. All right. That's good. To give value. That's our job. Yeah. To get business, trust. Yeah. To get business. Okay. Because some people can't make a decision. All of that. Look at that. Build working relationship. Wine and dine. Win the deal. Okay. Rapport. Yes, 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 yes. That is phenomenal. Thanks for your participation. I'm not going to look in the chat anymore. So, why do you need to influence, persuade, and even seduce your client? What the heck am I talking about? Seducing. What is seduce? It's not a relationship. It's not a relationship. You're not going to get married, or you're not going to do this, but it's a relationship in business, isn't it? So can't you use seduction? The art of seduction? I'm reading this book now by Robert Greene, and I'm actually studying the art of seduction. You know, there's different kinds of way that people like to be seduced. Now, I'm not interested in a personal way. I'm interested in a business way. So I encourage you to look into that. Think about seduction. So, yes, we want to grow our business. We want to get more closings. We want to build strong relationships. We want to come into our week and have someone call us and say, hey, I just told my friend at work that you can help them to buy a house. You want to build a good reputation, right, in your marketplace. So that is why you need this right here. Now, here is the participation. Currently, what are we doing out there? How would you rate your ability right now to influence and persuade someone? In the chat, I'm going to be looking. I want you to tell me, tell me, few of you, tell me a 5. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, 3, 6 to 7, 3. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, and 10 being the most exceptional with your ability to convince someone. I want you to put in the chat, what do you feel you are? Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least effective, 10 being the most effective. This is beautiful. Look at the chat. It's blowing up. We're seeing people that are like, okay, 3s and 7s and 5s and a few 8. You know, we've got people up there that feel very strong that they're 8 and they're 6 and they're 7. That's wonderful. So thank you for your participation. So what if you were able to get from an 8 to a 10? What would that mean to you? Alvaro, I'll pick on someone. Alvaro, come to the stage. Alvaro. Anybody that said they were an 8 and above or 7 and above, would you please come up? I want to talk to you. What would it mean to you? Please come to the stage. Basina, yes.
I'm here.
Hi, Alvaro. Thank you. Where are you located in this world, my friend?
In Toronto.
Yay! Wonderful. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for participating. I definitely.
Thank you.
Yes, in the chat right now, before I forget, because I always, oh my goodness, I couldn't forget. I'm going to send you guys a gift access, and it's a signed copy of my book. So Alvaro,
thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm going to write a small note in it, and then in the chat, just schedule. I'm not here to sell you anything, be advised, but you will get, everybody's entitled to a growth call with me. And in the chat right now, you're going to see to everyone a link. I'm going to ask that you grab the link now, and I'll send it again later, or Benicio will send it to you later again. But grab that link, and Alvaro, I owe you a book. We will work it out as far as mailing it to Toronto, but I'm going to sign it. You mentioned, Alvaro, that on a scale of 1 to 10, you are an 8 when it comes to influence people. Tell us about, how long have you been a real estate agent?
11 years.
Wonderful. And when you first started 11 years ago, did you come into the industry with that skill set of being able to really effectively convince someone or not?
No.
Okay. So 11 years ago, you kind of really put some emphasis on it and say, you know what, I've got to learn how to influence the people. How did you do that?
Well, first I have to I have to build confidence in myself, and then I have to convey that confidence and convert my confidence into the trust of my clients or potential clients.
Absolutely. So true. And you hear what he says there. It begins with him first. Isn't that interesting?
Totally.
You first. So
yes.
If that's the case, I'm going to show you some of the things after we give you the 4 techniques. I'm going to show you some of the things that you need in order to be a very successful real estate agent in selling someone and convincing them. Alvaro, thank you so much. Is there anybody else that's a 7 or above that could share with us? Okay, Byron. Hi, Byron. How long?
Hi, Paul.
Hi, how are you? I think I remember seeing you before.
Good, how are you?
Good, good. And where are you? What part of the world are you?
Kitchener, Ontario.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you today. And just thank you for participating. Remember, on the growth call, look, you and Alvaro, look in the link, click on the link. On the growth call, you just say, Paul, remember you owe me a book, and I need to mail it to this address. And I'll be autographing that book. And so tell me, how long have you been a realtor?
13 years.
Wow. Champion. That's so cool. And when you first started, same question for you, Byron. What did you feel that when you first started, you had that selling technique that you needed at that 7 or 10? You were 8. You're 8.
Absolutely not.
There you go. What triggered for you, man? 13 years ago, oh, wait a second, I got to get selling skills. How did that happen?
The training, Paul, and number 1, I think it's the mindset going in.
There we go again. This is the second sample, people. The second sample from random people. Byron, did I ask you to say this?
No,
Am I paying you to say this?
no, but you gave me a book, right?
Yeah. Yes, I am. But this is not something that we rehearse, people. It's a fact. 80% of the realtors inside of our marketplace, 80% of us fail because we're missing the main ingredient. You get your license, then they say go to the broker, and then the broker is not capable of giving you selling skills. Or some of them do and some of them don't, or some of them try to and it's not sticking and it doesn't work. But you've got to get it. So we're going to give you some today, and this is phenomenal. Thank you guys very much. Let's get back to it, because I'm going to allow you to get this information and even ask me some questions about it. So now, this is where we are. But what are the proven techniques that work? Just like what Alvaro and Byron was saying to you, you first have to get your mind ready. And after this slide, I'm going to show you another slide after this one of some things that you need to do in order to win the clients over. So the 5 Steps of the Sale is a book that's out there, and you could buy it and you could read it, and that's fine. It also has a 12-week course of the gentleman that you saw when this all started, name is Manny, that he took, and he immediately started to see results. Not here to push you anyway, but make you aware of it. Whether you want to do it or not, it's up to you. However, you should find something that would teach you how to do what we're about to teach you now. I'm going to use my cursor here, and let's go. The first thing in the 5 Steps of the Sale, or the first thing inside of rapport, inside of a sales cycle, because I want you to pay attention here, folks. This is the direction. Remember, I showed you earlier that I was an electrician and I came into the sales world and I couldn't make it. Follow the wheel. Everybody could see that the wheel is going in this direct clockwise. Can someone tell me? Benisa, they're seeing it okay, right? Somebody unmute your mic and say, yes, I'm seeing the wheel. Yes?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so the first thing that we say that you should do, and remember, this is a systematic approach. So just like steps going up a step, you can't jump anything. Maybe you could jump 1 or 2, but you're not supposed to jump anything, because you're just going to break your foot. Okay, it won't work. Be careful. Step 1. In step 1, you're putting your prospects at ease. You're getting them to like you, to listen to you, to trust you, to believe in you. That's the process. You get them to like you, listen to you, trust you, to believe in you. And there's some ways, some techniques to do that. 3 techniques in particular that you could use to do that. And I'm going to tell you about them in just a few minutes. So now, when you begin the process of connecting with a client to get them to like you, you want to do that because if they don't like you, they will not listen to you. They won't listen. The ears will be closed. You know, they don't put their fingers in there, but trust me, their brain is going to be like, oh, I wish this guy would just shut up. I wish this girl would just shut up. She talks too much. Let's just get out of here. So you got to get somebody like you, listen to you, trust you, and believe in you. How do you do that? We have 3 techniques, and you want to write this down. The techniques are the association technique, the mirroring technique, and psychological reciprocity technique. So these 3 techniques, when you use them and employ them in your practice, it helps you to get connected to a client in the first 60 seconds. In the first 15 seconds, I actually can get someone inside of an elevator or just passing the hallway to like me in 15 seconds, in 5 seconds. But it has been 29 years for me of practicing this day in, day out. But remember, I am the author of this book. Remember, this is like from my heart. This is me suffering and then not suffering anymore, right? So it's understandable. When you use the association technique, you're looking for something on the person, out of the person's mouth, around the neighborhood where you are, the environment that you can associate with. Just it. It's a little bit more to it, but I have to be brief. The next technique is a mirroring technique. The mirroring technique is if they're wearing glasses, you wear glasses. If they're drinking a cup of tea, you drink a cup of tea. It's mirroring them. But you can't get caught, because if you get caught, they're going to think that you are a slicky, and they're going to break down the trust. So you have to be careful with that. The last one, number 3, to build trust and to get someone connected to you is psychological reciprocity. What the heck is that? Psychological reciprocity is where you give your client credit for his or her belief, values, whatever it is. You give them credit for even their emotions. You give them credit for that. They become morally obligated to give you credit for your beliefs. It's like playing tennis. Bing, boom. I believe what you're saying. And I could give you a sample. You go on a listing appointment and, the seller says, hey, you know what? I think I want to interview more agents. And you just did your whole presentation. You thought you did a great presentation. And the client says, hey, you know what? I just think I want to interview. How do you address that? Psychological reciprocity tells you that you just come to them and say, oh, okay, I totally understand how you feel. It's okay. You're saying you want to interview other agents. I see that. I understand that. And you start to move forward. Versus most agents today, they would probably say, why you want to do that? I just spent all this time and they would get irritated. Psychological reciprocity, you don't show the anger. You don't show any kind of irritation. You just learn how to give them credit for their beliefs, and you psychologically turn it around and make them feel comfortable. So when you tell them something, they're morally obligated to say yes to you. So now I know I'm going deep, and this could be like, whoa, what in the world is happening here? Let me do this again. All right. Remember, conversation, first step. Get your client to like you, to listen to you, to trust you, and to believe in you. You use 3 techniques to do that: the association technique, mirroring technique, and psychological reciprocity. When you do that, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to do what's called a fact find. And you're going to get their want, their need, and their DBM, the dominant buying motive. It's an emotion. So basically, what am I saying? After you build a rapport with them and you get them to like you and all that, you're going to say to them, hey, listen, it's so great to talk to you. I feel so good. And you're going to invoke their thoughts. I feel so good. Oh, my goodness. I look forward to get you this new home. I look forward to selling this home. I look forward to selling you the car. I look forward to selling you a bottle of water. Doesn't matter, whatever it is. Tell me, what is it that you want? And then they're going to answer that. I want a car that drives fast. I want a bottle of water that I could drink with one finger. I want a house with 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I want a realtor that can sell my house quickly. What? And then after you say, okay, and repeat it back to them, I understand that you want blah, blah, blah. Then you're going to say, what do you need to get that? They're going to say, okay, I need this and that. Most of the time people say, what do you mean? What do I need? Is this a game? No, it's not a game. I'm doing a proper fact find. When you're very smooth with this, you don't hear that often. And then finally, you're going to repeat all of that, want and need to them, and you're going to tell them, DBM, I understand once I get you what you want and need, you're going to feel this feeling. Is that correct? And repeat it to them. After you've done this, then you move into step 2. That's the next technique. So this is step 1, conversation. Step 2 is curiosity. This involves creating curiosity in your prospects. You want them to be hungry to hear your proposal. You're setting them up to pay attention to when you're going to give the presentation. You want them listening to you, like you, and that's why you do step 1 so good, because you want to make sure that they're in this mood and in this attitude and this behavior to be able to listen to you. When you do the curiosity, after you've got their want, need, DBM, you have to raise your energy. You have to repeat everything to them. Say, oh my gosh, you want this, you want that, are you going to feel good? Is that correct? All right, yeah, I know exactly what it is because I have it right here at Remax. I have it right here at Keller Williams. I have it right here at Coldwell Banker. Wherever you're working at, I have it right here in my brokerage firm. I have it right here in my briefcase. Right here. Get ready. I'm going to show you what's going on right now. Come on. Can we sit over here at the dining room table? You over here, wife over here, husband and left, right. Put them together, set the tone. That is curiosity. That is set it up. When you make them curious to hear your proposal, their ears are up. Now you jump into conviction. Here is where your prospect will justify buying your proposal. This is where you are laying out an impeccable presentation. But the key to it is this. It must have the want, the need, and the DBM in it. If it does not have the want, need, and DBM in it in the presentation, they will object. They will not buy. If it has everything and you do it well, they're going to bypass objection and they're going to jump into the fourth technique, which is close. So, 4 things today: conversation, curiosity, conviction, which is your presentation, and close. And this is where you make the deal happen, because all along the way inside of your presentation, you're doing a lot of trial closes. Say after me, people. I know I can't hear you, but say it in your seat. Trial closes. Everybody say trial closes. Come on, say it in your seat. Trial closes. That means, for example, you're on a listing appointment and you're showing them, okay, what do you want to see? And and you're giving your presentation. Well, you see, yes, I'm over here at Remax and I'm with Colin. Where this and you tell them about your brokerage firm. Then you say, okay, I'm going to do open house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Here's a copy of my marketing material. Here's my this and that. Along the way, trial close mean that you can ask them, well, how do you feel about me doing the open houses this way? Isn't it amazing? You see how I do it? That's a trial close. Another trial close is, okay, you can say to them in the conversation, in the conviction stage, you say, hey, is it okay that I could start doing an open house this coming Saturday or next Saturday? Which would be better for you? It's a trial close. There's a secret to knowing when to close, guys. There's a secret to know when to close. And that's it. You just have to know when to do it. That's it. The secret to closing is just knowing when to do it. So,
Paul, can I interrupt you for a second?
Absolutely, absolutely.
We have people asking, what does DBM stand for?
Thank you so much. I needed that. DBM is dominant buying motive. So let's break it down. And remember, this is not a classroom. This is just a little training for you, right? So let's clear this. Remember the flow chart. We were saying, okay, let's leave that there. Remember on the screen, I said that I had to figure out how to get people to buy my product. And that was the United States Navy back then, which was very hard. And now I sell the real estate. All right, houses and listing appointments and all of that stuff. All right. So the DBM comes in the first step of the sale, because after you get someone to like you, listen to you, trust you, and believe in you, then after that, then you're going to say to them, what do you want? You have to ask them, what do you want? And they say they want 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, open plan. The seller says he wants to relocate because he has to go to closer, just had a baby, got a job. All right, fine. Well, what do you need in order to do that? Oh, well, I need to sell a house. What do you mean? Okay, I know you need to sell a house, but what are you looking for in a realtor? Well, my friend said that their realtor never give them feedback. I want a realtor that's going to give me feedback. Blah, 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 blah. Buyer says, well, I need financing. I need money. Oh, you didn't get a pre-approval yet? Buyer says, oh, I need to just find a house that's going to work. That's wonderful. Just have this communication with them. And here's your question. What is DBM? DBM. Dominant buying motive. It is a feeling, my friends, a feeling. So you basically say to the client, you want this and you need this. Is that correct? Once I get it for you, how is it going to make you feel? And they say, really? Yeah. Well, I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel great. They describe it as great, or I'm going to feel successful. They're going to tell you whatever. It's a feeling. And you got to get that. Because when you get that and now employ it inside of here, stop that screen and bring back the other one. When you get that and you put it inside of the conviction stage, let's go back right here. When you get it and you put it into the conviction and they see it, they see the want, the need, and you tell them how they're going to feel. That's when they bypass objection handling and they come over here to close. They ask you, this sounds so great. They start bobbing their head. This is good. This is good. Yeah. They start to do body language. They start to move it around. Phenomenal, phenomenal. But this is important. Thank you so much. I want you to now pay attention to something that's very vital. So let's say that you want to get this selling system in play. You are going to need these practices. You're going to need these things. You're going to need the right perception. You have to know that perception becomes one's own reality. So when you are stepping into the arena with a client, you have to say to yourself, they are going to perceive me in a certain way. They're going to think that I am that realtor that knows about the golf course, or not. They're going to think that I'm the realtor that knows about this waterfront properties, or not. They're going to think that I'm the realtor that knows about this subdivision La Marca, or not. Perception becomes one's own reality. That is a fact. The next thing you're going to need is you have to have dressing and professionalism down pat. May sound easy, but guess what? You've got to really think about it, because this is all part of your selling system. Then you have to have the ability to gain trust. And how do you gain trust? Well, there's a couple ways of doing it. Eye contact. There's a couple ways of doing it by reconfirming with them. Every time that they tell you something, you're reconfirming it with them. You're building trust. That's why the 5 steps of the sale is off the chain, because it's like when you follow the systematic approach and you do it and do exactly what we do, it's a proven thing. By the end of like the presentation, you build up so much trust, they don't want to see nobody else. The ability to read the playing field. So when you walk into a listing appointment, or when you walk into meeting a buyer for the first time, Starbucks, whatever you do, you've got to read the playing field. You've got to say, okay, look at their mannerism. How are they? What are their body language? When you walk in the house, what do they smell? What do you feel? All those things. How do they keep the house? Are they messy, tidy, whatever? Read the play. When you pull up to the house, how's the curb appeal? This is something that's like, gives you an opportunity to make a compliment. And when you make the compliment, people love to have compliments, and they're going to like you a little bit better. So that's just a tip. There's more to this. It's very, very deep, but I just have to go on the surface today. The ability to use the association technique, the mirroring technique, psychological reciprocity. You've got to be able to use these things in order for you to be able to get somebody to like you, listen to you, trust you, and believe in you, and then tell you what they want, need, and their DBM. And then you have to have the right mindset. And the right mindset, what we use is something that's called the nuclear mind. And the nuclear mind, you can look it up. It's inside of my books, and it's on YouTube. I talk about it there. And what it is you getting up in the morning, asking yourself what you're feeling, saying your mantra, and then regulating your thoughts and jumping out of the down bed and going to do a meditation before you get on the phone or anything else. And when you do your meditation, you're doing what's called PE. This right here, PE, positive expectations. I've been doing it for 30 years. And you end up in a constant state of serendipity once you can employ this. So PE, positive expectation, is where you are thinking about your daily activities. And when you think about your daily activities, I'm talking about from morning to noon to the end of the day. You think about your activities and you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to go to agent locator training. And then when I go to that training is going to be so good. I could see the training good. I'm going to walk away from that training with something of value that I could use inside of my real estate practice. Oh man, I'm going to leave that training. Then I'm going to go do a showing. When I do that showing, the client's going to say, yes, they want to make the offer. And then from there, I'm going to listen to appointment. And the seller's going to say, yes, positive expectations. It's like a baby, like you're dreaming all over again. I've been doing that for 29 years. It's a secret. Positive expectations work. Ask that guy Manny Singh that complete the course. Ask him how he attract the business. Mindset. So you got to get up and you got to get your mind in the game of life. And you got to say, man, how do I feel? Damn, I don't feel like I want to do nothing today. I made $20,000 yesterday. I'm not doing nothing. That's fine. Or, oh my gosh, I got to pay this bill. I'm so worried. Where am I going to get the money to pay this bill? Whatever it is. Then you're going to say your mantra. I'm the world's greatest whatever. When you say your mantra, you start to get fired up. When you get fired up, then you start to take action. Then you do your PE exercise and you say, okay, my whole darn day is off the chain. I am going to get boom. Even when you eat dinner with your family, oh, it feels so good. I feel so loved, and you feel it. You got to feel it. That's the secret. Got to feel it. Okay, now let's continue on. What else you have to have? Practice, practice, practice. Like a Kung Fu master, you have to practice, practice, practice. Let's wrap this thing up, right? Practice what you know, and it will help you make clear what now you don't know. But a student full of doubt is unable to move forwards and to judge well the truth. Rembrandt. Deep. When I first read that, I was like, I don't understand. Maybe you could read it a few times. Little known facts from Harvard Business Review. There's a guy named Steve Martin, and he says, hey, you know what? 7 reasons why salespeople don't make it. They are not trusted. He's also saying that, hey, they can't converse effectively. They also can't clearly explain how their solution will help the buyer. They're too fast or too self-centered, They use the wrong closing strategy. They don't alleviate the risk of buying. But the last one, I really, really like the last one. Look at this one. Look at that. They can't even get a darn connection with the client. Isn't that something else? Whatever you're doing out there, my friends, make sure that you get a systematic approach to your selling system. Because if you do not, and you continue where you are, you will continue to be in the top 80% of the people that are failing. That's not a good place to be. So let's bring it all in. What you discovered today, you discovered how to use a systematic approach to get your clients to close with you and only you. You learned a systematic way of getting them to like you, listen to you, trust you. Then you're going to make them curious. And then after that, you're going to give them a great presentation. And then after that, you do trial closes inside of that. And it just forces them to say, okay, I'm ready to close. You also learn how to get people to keep sending referrals to you. Because when you build this kind of selling system in your practice and you have people liking you, what happens when people like you? They multiply and they tell you more and more friends about you. So how can you always get people to think of you first? Yeah, that's them liking you and listening to you, right? And then finally, we talked about the facts. We talked about that, the facts and the trends. Now, I'm going to open this up for the last 10 minutes where we could get some questions. And I want you to see on the screen inside of the chat, I'm going to drop one more time. You can get the growth call. It's in the screen. Just click on the link and you can set it up. If you want to learn more, you definitely can go to the website there, or you could just get that on the screen, what you see there, this QRC code or QR code, just scan it in. Now, I'm opened up. Come to the stage and talk to me. I'm not going to be looking in the chat. Tell me, who wants to talk to me? Dominant buying motive. Okay, got that. What does DBM means? Who would have a question? Go ahead, Vanessa. Thank you.
I just wanted to go back to Rob's question for 20 minutes. earlier. He said, how do you get someone to like you in 5 or 10 seconds? Can you give an example? And I think
Absolutely.
he also messaged us now, so maybe he's willing to come up and talk.
Yeah, Rob, you want to come to the stage and let's demonstrate with Rob. All right. And we're going to role play very quickly, only for like 2 minutes. And watch this. I don't know Rob, and I've never heard his voice before. Are you ready? Wait. Don't don't speak yet. Wait. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Let me take a deep breath. Just wait. I'm going to demonstrate to you right now live how to connect with somebody and get them to like you. And this is not using the mirroring technique, obviously. It's only using association technique. Hi, Rob. Rob, speak.
I think his mic isn't working. He wrote no mic.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. Would somebody else like to do this for Rob? Like somebody, if you come up and speak, I'm gonna attempt to get you to like me in 5 seconds.
Okay, here's a volunteer.
NM.
I'm Natty. Hi.
Hi, Natty. Good afternoon. I'm Paul. Nice to meet you. Natty.
Lovely meeting you too.
Yay! I love your accent. Oh my gosh, where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan.
Wow, oh my gosh. Let me tell you a story. Pakistan, what comes to my heart? My dear friend Mohammed. Many years ago, my 17-year-old daughter was just about 2 years old, and I went to his house, Mohammed, to visit. And he had this nice little chair, the wood chair in the house. My baby would sit there, and there was such amazing, the food, Pakistan, delicious. I ate with my hands, and I can't even remember, but the chicken curry, and love it. Yeah, I mean, from Pakistan, amazing. Wow, I love it. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so happy you like the food and you like the hospitality and the culture as well, right?
Yes, I sure do. I definitely do. And when I hear your accent and when I hear where you're from, it just reminds me of that, and it brings a pleasure to my heart. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
All right. What do you feel? That's it right there. What happened? That was 5 seconds. Rob, what do you think, Rob? What happened, Rob? You could write. What do you feel? NM?
I'm Natty. Oh my God. I was like, when you said food and all, the whole picture of how our household works, as in home when a guest comes in, and how, engaged we are, how excited we are, and how um, I'd say how we feel on top of it when spreading out the food and everything. So just connected there right away, right?
Yeah,
Especially when you mentioned your daughter, 2 years old, and then the timeline of
yeah.
your friendship. That was like, okay, so yes, he knows something, and I'd like to talk further.
Wonderful. And you see, I use two techniques there. I use the association technique and I use psychological reciprocity. I listened to your voice and I asked, what is that? Genuinely. And I plugged my brain to my heart and I said, genuinely, what's this accent about? And then you said it. And then I instantly, in like 1 second, where in my life did I ever have Pakistan? What was it like? Booms, association. And then the psychological reciprocity came in because what I did was I gave you credit for your culture, your food. So now you owe me one.
I do. But does that mean my my accent is weird?
No, but it's cool, right? Oh my gosh. 5 steps to the sale. Woo-hoo! Woohoo! All right. You also mentioned your heart, emotional connection, what people would typically classify as nice, warm, trustworthy. Yeah. Thank you so much, Alvaro. Absolutely. But what if Bob says, what if you don't know anything about Pakistan culture? What do you do? Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. This is not a hack. What I'm here for today is not a hack. I spent 29 years developing this. I could introduce you to it. You could go and try do it on your own. You go read the book. If you want to develop these skill set, Rob, you have to practice, 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 practice. Realtors come into this industry and they watch YouTube videos and they do on social media and they go to this conference and they're like, okay, tell me how to do this. The real secret is you have to develop this thing like karate. I'm going to give you the tip, but you've got to get in there and you got to be ready to go. And it works. I know it works because the students are going through it and they're actually developing. It's happening. That's all I can tell you. So it works. Approachable. Okay, genuine. Awesome. Yes, absolutely. But what if you don't? Okay, cool. What other question do we have? What other question? Okay, let me share back on the screen so you can have that information. Remember, in the chat, go ahead and drop into, click the link and get your growth call. The first 15 people, here's the gift for you, and I promised you a gift. The first 15 people that schedule a growth call, and trust me, my app tells me right away the 15 people, and plus I could count. The first 15 people will receive a free copy of my book, The 5 Steps of the Sale. I will write a note in it because I'm going to be speaking to you. It will be a personalized note, and I will be arranging with you to send it to your location of choice. So the free book is going to be given to you, the first 15 people that will do that. And the reason why we just did a book signing in Chicago. You might have seen that in some of my publications. And I have a surplus that's left over here in the office. So I'm delighted. I like to give a gift. Any other questions before we go? Click on the link, schedule your growth call. Don't forget me. Yay! All right. Yes, Natty. I'll be delighted. Please click on the link. I'll spend the 30 minutes with you to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. And then I'll get the address and we'll arrange to get you the book and I'll sign it. That's for sure. I appreciate every one of you for being here today. Thank you so much. But Vanessa, how would you like to close us out?
Hoping to see everyone here in the next one.
Yeah, wait, look, guys, check out the chat. Look at Rob. Rob says, what does a realtor's wife say if she can't sleep? Honey, tell me about your day at work. Yeah, right. Rob, you're funny. All right, guys. Listen, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. And Vanessa, when is the next one? I don't even know, but I'm ready.
I don't even know, so we're gonna have to work on that. But we're gonna be talking about the market prices, so hoping to see everybody.
Yeah, Vanessa, I would. What do you think? Should we ask them right now? Let's do a quick poll. Is it okay, Vanessa? What do you think?
Absolutely.
Guys, what do you think? What would you like to see me talk about next time? Just any ideas? Just throw it in there. What would you like to see? Just drop. You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure, everyone. Tell me. Just start to drop it. Not a big sentence, just like, Paul, what you want me to talk about? Where and how to get listings. Okay. Bring buyers to the table. All right. Getting more leads. All right. Agent Locator can help you with that. Listing presentation. Dealing with difficulties. Yeah. Difficult clients. You all have such valid leads, valid stuff. So I don't know if you have a survey, Vanessa, but maybe you can get this in the chat and just kind of sum it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and see, I'll be delighted to talk about any of these topics. I'm even willing to talk about 2 things in one session. So keep that in mind as well.
I have everything written down and we can consider some of these topics for sure.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure, guys. Look forward to seeing you soon and all my best to you. Now, on the screen, look at what it says there. It says serendipity. What is serendipity? The occurrence and development of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. I'm grateful to say that I'm in a constant state of serendipity. And what that means to me is that when I use my nuclear mind technique and my PE exercise on a daily basis, it causes me to attract the business and to attract things and events in my life that just happens to me in a happy or beneficial way. It's just like, wow, I pull up to for this event and I get a parking right in front of the building. I leave here and I go to another meeting and somebody says, oh wow, I want to do something with you, or it just get these benefits, man. That's what it is. That's all it is to it. So I'll look at the chat real quick. Paul, you are ever turn down listings? Do you ever turn down listings? Maybe you could connect with them. Yeah, I do that. Rob is right. Yeah, I do. If I don't connect with the people, I don't even go forward. I don't give a presentation if I don't have a connection. I'm so sorry. That's just the way it is, you know, and people will respect that. So, guys, thank you again. And Vanessa, close us out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Take care. All my best.